something different.
Yeah. But talking about jump scares, that is fucking amazing. That
yes,
is so well executed.
And it's crazy, there's like one shot, it's like a second long, where his arms are ripped off. And that wide shot,
the wide shot, yeah.
They cast a guy who's missing his arms and put a mask of the actor on him for just like 1 second of film.
And you don't notice it. If you kind of pause it and look, yeah, it kind of doesn't look like him. But yeah, I never noticed that until I kind of read about it. But there you go. It's all old school trickery.
Yeah. And then just the visual is so bizarre when like the spider legs come out.
Yeah, it's like almost like before. It's like the dog kennel scene where it's like before you can even kind of settle in and kind of like deal with what you've just seen. There's like some other more disgusting thing that happens.
If I had any complaints about the movie, and it's very minor, is that I feel like the conclusion is a little weak.
When they go to find Blair in the cabin and then they kind of explore the
they're going.
tunnels.
I mean, that stuff's all fine. There's some tension and stuff, but then when we see the full creature,
they're kind of like big reveal, I guess.
It's a big reveal, and then it's just Kurt Russell just kind of blows it up.
Yeah, fuck you too.
I mean, it kind of works in that it doesn't go too over the top, I guess. It's just sort of like a desperation, like, we got this dynamite, I'll throw that.
Yeah.
I don't know, a little
I don't mind it. I'll give it a pass because this movie is so fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Then it sort of just leads into, this awesome ending with him and Keith David.
Maybe we should. You worried about me? Surprises for each other. I don't think we're in much shape to do anything about it.
The bleak ending, which people love to debate, but it's funny because people always like try to debate or find clues on it. Really the thing or not. The whole point of the ending is we don't know, and it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, yeah.
That paranoia is still there, and that's where we are.
Yeah, again, Dean Kennedy sort of came back to that kind of eye highlight clue that he did in the blood test scene. And then he asked Carpenter, he's like, are you going to do the same thing? And Carpenter said, no, don't do it. I want it to be ambiguous. Yeah, people say you can't see child's breath, which is bullshit. You can. He does. He kind of leans forward and you see it. You see an eyelid in both of them. And even if he was the thing, it would be a perfect copy of him. He would be breathing and you'd have breath. So that's all BS. Everybody, this and that. Carpenter said.
I mean, if you have fun trying to find this stuff, I guess whatever. But
I'm sure there's theories.
It kind of defeats the purpose, which is that we don't know and we're not supposed to know, and it almost doesn't matter because either way, these guys are fucked.
Wait here for a while. See what happens.
I read some crazy crackpot reviews, like, Kurt Russell hands him the G&B, but it's really the gasoline.
Jesus.
And, Childs didn't react when he drank it, so that means he's the thing. It's like, oh, man. No. It's meant to be ambiguous. We're not meant to know. Neither of them are.
But that, definitively. But also, this will lead into our discussion of the 2011 film. In that scene, though, at the end, this is how we know that Childs is not the thing, because he has an earring, and you briefly see the earring.
That's right.
And as we learn from the prequel,
I think they're fillings from someone's teeth. It can clone cells, but not inorganic material. It couldn't copy these, so it spit them out.
So the prequel answered the question of the original film, and then that Childs is not the thing.
Did we really need to know that? Fucking prequels, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, this prequel in particular is 2011. It's more a remake than anything. It's just called The Thing.
It's even called The Thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And it is a poor imitation, I might add.
Hey, there you go. But what it really does is ruin the first half of the original movie. Because the whole thing in The Thing is the mystery of like what's happening. Like, why are these Norwegians chasing this dog? What's the deal with this dog?
When they're exploring the base, the
they
Norwegian
explore the base where the Norwegians came from. And
you can kind of piece it together in your mind.
Maybe they found a fossil. The remains of some animal buried in the ice and they chopped it up. But where is it?
remember Mystery?
So the prequel, if you watch the prequel before going into the original film, like all that's ruined.
I made a horrible mistake. I watched The Thing first, and then I watched the prequel second.
Oh, no.
I think you did the opposite, which was
I did the
smart
opposite.
thing.
I saw the thing back the prequel back when it first came out. And I was
Yeah.
like, wow, this sucks. Moving on. So I hadn't watched it since, but then in preparation for this, I rewatched it, and then I watched the John Carpenter one right afterwards. And it just completely deflates the first half of the John Carpenter movie.
I did the opposite, and I just went to bed angry. It's just, it couldn't be more glaringly obvious how bad it is.
Yeah, and then of course, very famously, all the effects in it were done practically, and then the producers were like, "Oh, this doesn't look modern enough."
Yeah, there's sort of theories about what happened. I know friends that actually worked on the CG. One of them knew I was a huge fan of The Thing. He was working on the CG. He's like, look, they're replacing, because they were sort of touting it as big return to sort of practical effects. Now, I've seen some of them. You can find them online, a lot of the behind the scenes. I think,
they're all on YouTube.
For whatever reason, my friend said that the producer or the director, probably the producer, weren't happy with how the practical effects came out, or they thought it looked like a very dated movie. It was too retro. So they made the decision.
That had come out a few years later. Everyone would have been okay with it, because retro's the new thing.
It's the new
It's
thing,
capturing
yeah.
the spirit of the 80s movies.
Yeah, so for some reason they made the decision to replace everything with CG, and it is not good CG.
It's too fluid. It looks cartoony, especially in contrast with the first movie, but it's also, the Thing is willing to show itself in every possible moment, to give itself away. It makes no sense.
It's like, it usually would wait. And the good thing about the Carpenter film is, like, you rarely ever see the attacks if it's just one other person that it's attacking.
Yeah.
You would only see it when it's cornered, by a bunch of people and it's trying to escape. But in this movie,
It's like it like panics almost.
goes out of its way to attack somebody when somebody else is present.
Yeah.
It gives itself away at any opportunity. It is so annoying, and it's like, for all the sort of forensic recreation of what happened at the Norwegian base, like, here's how that axe got there, and here's how so-and-so cut their throat or whatever like that. It's like they ignored everything else about the Carpenter movie about how to build tension and how this kind of creature behaved.
Yeah.
It's just very odd.
It's just a complete fundamental misunderstanding of the original movie.
Absolutely, on every single level.
Yeah.
And even going so far as to call it The Thing, it's like, fuck.
That's the thing with soft reboots or prequels or whatever, you just call it the same thing as the original.
They said they couldn't come up with a better name, so that's how they just chose The Thing.
But that's now like, the new Halloween, speaking of John Carpenter, the new Halloween that's coming out. It's just Halloween. You recognize that name? So that's the trends. When they do the soft reboot of Gremlins, where they bring back Billy Peltzer for like 2 scenes just to appease the original fans.
Gremlins.
The movie's just going to be called Gremlins.
It's like these Prometheus movies and all those things.
Yeah.
That's
sort of like the precursor to the Ridley Scott Alien prequels.
They just
It's like,
ruin
we don't
everything.
need this. We don't
I
need
don't
this
want to know what
explained.
the space jockey is, and it's just like, for years since I saw that movie, you kind of have like this vision in your head of what it is or where it came from.
And that's what's great. It opens your imagination.
Remember
when they're exploring the Norwegian camp and you see all this chaos, and
you're reconstructing in your head, like, wow, what could have happened here?
Yeah.
It's amazing. That kind of mystery is, these fucking prequels can fuck off. It just ruin everything. I don't want to know.
Fuck you too!
Well, Jay, I think it's about time you and I talk about another film. And it's probably one a lot of people haven't seen.
That's right, because it didn't do very well in the theaters, but I think it's safe to say that it's a favorite of both mine and yours.
That's right. It's the 2007 film by Frank Darabont, The Mist.
Torpedoes to port.
Wow, Jay, that was a really clever gag to have all that mist come in right at the start of our review.
Oh no, the studio's on fire.
Oh my God!
Torpedoes direct front.
Oh, good, all the mist went away. Let's talk about the classic film, classic in our view, 2007 film, The Mist.
Classical. It's very much a throwback kind of movie.
Yes.
And it's not to be confused with The Fog. Everybody confuses this movie with The Fog. You say, have you seen The Mist? And they say, the original or that remake? I'm like, no, that's The Fog. That's a different movie. Ghost pirates come out of The Fog. Big bug monsters come out of The Mist.
Also not to be confused with The Blob.
The Blob, the remake, was written by Frank Darabont.
Holy shit balls.
And there's several members of the cast of The Blob that are in The Mist.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. The Blob remake is a favorite of mine.
That should be a review at some point.
That's coming out. Stay tuned.
2021 we'll do that. It'll be competing with Avatar 6. But yeah, Frank Darabont had done, of course, one of the most critically acclaimed movies of all time, Shawshank Redemption, Green Mile, and then he made this, and I think some people were like, what? Frank Darabont got his start. Or he co-wrote Nightmare on Elm Street 3. The Dream Warriors, the best Nightmare on Elm Street sequel.
Ladies and gentlemen, your big break in TV.
So The Mist was based on a Stephen King, was it a short story or a novel?
It was a short story. It was a part of the Skeleton Crew book.
Okay. Is that the same book where the short story The Body was in?
I don't think so. I think it's a different book.
Well, how could it be a different book? Stephen King hasn't written that many books. It's not like it can be confusing. Wait, are we talking about Richard Bachman too?
Oh, God.
Oh my God! Anyway, so I have not read the short story. I only read one Stephen King book, and that was it.
Which one?
Oh, It.
Which book, though, are you talking about?
No, What's on Second.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, but I did not read the Mist short story, but let's start talking about the film.
Okay.
Because the film is wonderful, but that comes with a little asterisk.
Well, I was watching it and thinking about like a James Wan film, how everything is like precision, like there's this like surgical element to like building up the scares, and then there's the loud noise and blah blah blah. And The Mist, like everything just kind of happens, and there's no musical stings. There's music, but it's like ambient. And it's shot with this sort of urgency. I know he made the movie relatively low budget, so he hired like a TV crew, the crew that works on The Shield, the show The Shield. So it's a lot of sort of run and gun. So it feels sometimes when they do like a quick zoom in on something that wasn't rehearsed, it was almost improvised.
Yeah. See,
so the movie has a sort of immediacy to it.
It's almost contradictory because on one hand it has the dialogue, the characters. It's very corny and very B-movie from like the 50s.
It feels like an older film, yeah. But the acting elevates it, so
sure.
That's sort of a contrast too.
Now I know, you're a big shot artist with connections in New York and Hollywood and all like that, but that don't make you better than anybody else, not in my book.
Yeah, I didn't say that.
Nor do I like being talked down to or called stupid by a guy who went to college just because he's got the jitters.
But you have that mixed without the cinematic element of like a 50s B movie with like the dun, dun, dun. So it has this like modern like handheld shot kind of feel to it, like documentary style, like you said, mixed with corny B movie dialogue and very, very I wouldn't say stock characters, but they're very specific characters.
Yeah.
It's not very realistic, and it